Alright there guys, and welcome back to another video. Today it is time for us to cover Beastars Season 2. It's been around about a year since I covered the first season of this show. And I had the whole running joke for that video was that being a fan of Beastars doesn't actually make you a furry. Yeah, we're sticking with the same theming this time round as well because it's actually quite funny. So, the key things in Season 2 of Beastars is the Yakuza Leo group that almost killed Haru at the end of Season 1 was stopped by Legosi and Lewis. Yeah, Lewis ends up leaving the school and the drama club and all of that to become the new leader of the Leo group, which is very strange. The biggest downside for Lewis being the new boss of this group is he has to eat meat. And as we know, Lewis is a herbivore, and herbivores do not eat meat. There's three types of something ors. There's carnivore, which are animals that eat meat. Herbivores, that are animals that eat plants. And then we have omnivores, which eat both. So yeah, Lewis being a herbivore, he cannot eat meat, which means every time he has to pretend that he's actually eating the meat, he then goes into his office and coughs his guts up into a bin. Because that's how digestive systems of herbivores work. They cannot eat meat. Obviously, Legosi isn't too thrilled about the fact that Lewis has left, as he feels like he needs Lewis at the school, there with him. And the mystery around Tem's killer from Season 1, that mystery is still going around, but it does get solved in Season 2, but we won't get to that just yet. Legosi's walking through the school at night time, only for him to finally meet the school janitor, who is a literal snake. I don't mean snake as in a bad person that goes behind someone's back. I mean an actual snake. So that's quite interesting. Because students were reporting strange noises happening at nighttime around certain different parts of the school, and it was just him. It was actually just the janitor. Now, Legosi's relationship with Haru, we thought at the end of Season 1 was going to, progress. It was actually going to go somewhere. Not quite the case, unfortunately. Legosi and Haru's relationship doesn't really progress at all in Season 2. In fact, we see a lot less of Haru in Season 2 than we did in Season 1. Because Season 2 is more focused on Legosi and Lewis than anyone else. Legosi gets lured out to the yard of the school, then gets the crap beaten, gets blinded by something, gets the crap beaten out of him by somebody, he doesn't know who, but he tries to bite into this mysterious person that's kicking his ass in order to have the smell and the aroma of this mystery person, so he later on can find out who it is. So he goes back to his mentor from Season 1, Gohin, the panda. Remember him? Yeah, he's back, as Legosi undergoes some training to be able to fight without the need of his lust for meat. That's what Legosi is trying to train himself to do. He wants to learn how to fight properly, truly fight, without the need of a lust for meat, to actually bring out all of his strength. He also tries to use Juno to help him. Remember her, the female wolf that definitely wants Lugosi's pee-pee? Yeah, he basically, he asks her to open her mouth as wide as she can, and she's feeling this is a bit weird, as he's trying to get the aroma from her mouth to see if it was another wolf that attacked him on that night. It wasn't, but Juno basically, while she's thinking this is a bit weird, but the more he does it, she's thinking, oh, screw it, you can do whatever you want to my mouth. Bit creepy, but okay. Juno, he doesn't want to date you. Get over it. Lewis also ends up even going to a naughty club, if you know what I mean. A mature, adult-only club, if you know what I mean, and saves one of the dancers, if you know what I mean, from potentially being executed, from being assassinated. So even though Lewis is part of a Yakuza Leo group, he's at least doing some good in the black market, which of course is where he is. That's where the group is based, in the black market, which is also where Gohin is and where Lugosi has to go to get his training. Juno decides to go to the black market to try and locate Lewis, and she does. She tries to convince him to come back to the school. It doesn't work. But what were you expecting? Of course it was not going to work. Meanwhile, we have another side plot of these other two characters from within the drama club, which is Pina, who is a sheep, and Riz, who is a bear. Obviously, these two are very different characters in terms of everything, their personalities, what animals they are, and what type of vores they are. Riz is, of course, a carnivore, and Pina is a herbivore because he's a sheep. And Riz has this condition to where he needs to take these, he needs to have honey at least once a day, otherwise he gets these very severe headaches. And the side plot with those two is where the two of them basically start hanging out and trying to become friends. Because, of course, Riz is a massive bear and Pina is a small sheep. You wouldn't expect a bear and a sheep to be friends. But that's what Pina is going for here. And thanks to the two of them hanging out, the mystery killer of Tem is finally revealed. It was Riz. That's right. Riz the bear is the killer who murdered Tem before the start, or at the very, very start of Season 1. It was a pretty big moment when we all found out about that, because if we're being honest, most of us probably thought that it actually was Lugosi who ended up killing Tem. But no, he had nothing to do with it. It was Riz. And Pina was the first one to find out about that. And then Lugosi finds out about it not too long after. And well, Lugosi wants revenge for what for what Riz did to Tem. But they even have a little brawl in the boys' locker room. But they have to stop because the school nurse walks in, and the two of them have to pretend like they weren't just beating the ever-living crap out of each other, even though they were. While this is going on, Lewis has realised that the Yakuza Leo life is just not for him. But he needs to be properly convinced to... He needs to be convinced properly to come back to normal life and get out of the black market. First, Lugosi tries by going to his base, where the Yakuza base is located, tries to convince Lewis there. It doesn't work. But he doesn't give up. He decides this time to go to a bar Oh boy, get this. He goes to a bar dressed as a female wolf. He literally has to wear... And he makes himself look like a girl to fool most of the people there. Well, as the YouTuber Giguk once said, sometimes it takes a real man to be best girl. So yeah, Legosi is dressed in female clothing, is wearing makeup because he needs to try and fool people into thinking he's actually a woman, when of course he's not. Lewis walks in and thinks, oh my god, what have you done, Legosi? What have you done to yourself? The rest of Lewis's men stand outside, or in the entrance. Legosi reveals to Lewis that Riz was the killer of Tem. It's finally that information is finally revealed, and tells him that on New Year's Eve, the two of them are going to have an all-out brawl, where one of them very well could die. He begs Lewis to come to the fight, which Lewis originally hesitates and is thinking, I really don't want to be involved in that. But Legosi continuously keeps begging him to do it, and doesn't get a definitive answer, and then... Well, then... Lewis, before he gets the chance to say anything, Legosi leaves. Then they have the big fight. They have the big fight. And Legosi and Riz are beating the ever-living crap out of each other, and Lewis does turn up to the fight. But it doesn't... And Legosi needs a way to try and realises that Riz is stronger than him and is going to overpower him. So, in a very weird turn of events, Lewis actually asks Legosi to eat his foot. No joke. Lewis offers up his foot to Legosi for him to chew it off and eat it. Which gives Legosi the strength he needed to start winning the fight and have the upper hand in the battle. In the end, neither of them actually kill each other as the clock strikes 12 and the new year has rolled in, to where the two of them simply stop fighting and just give up on fighting each other. It was a very anticlimactic end to the battle, in my opinion, which kind of sucks, but I mean, were they really going to have Legosi or Riz get killed here? Probably not. So the season ends with Legosi and Haru sitting together, looking out across the sea. And that kind of is just where it ends. Like, we don't know, is that the proper end? Is there a third season maybe coming on the way, maybe next year? It didn't really give us a definitive answer to if it even ended or not. So we're not sure about where that's going, but yeah. That is Beastars Season 2. It was better than the first season, in my opinion. We had a lot more focus on Legosi, a lot more focus on Lewis. Tem's killer finally being revealed. That was the biggest moment for the whole season, because that is literally how this show began. The mission with reports of Tem being murdered. That's how the whole show began, and the killer was finally revealed in the second season. But yeah, that is going to be it for my coverage of Beastars Season 2. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and until next time, catch you later.